We're all going to burn to death in some icy flood.
Hoax. I got a note today from our official climatologist, Dr. Roy Spencer. He sent me something from his blog. The place in Siberia where it always gets coldest has hit minus 76 degrees Fahrenheit twice last month. It had only done that one time in the last 25 years. Arctic sea ice, same amount, same thickness as in 1979. Snow in Chicago again. There is an Arctic air mass that caused temperatures of minus 50 in Alaska that is going to descend over the Midwest and the East next week. That will make the high temperature in New York perhaps minus 5. Europe, England, pretty moderate in temperature. Now, scientists have told us the conveyor belt stopped about 2 years ago, or maybe even longer. And that premise, that conveyor belt, if you will, that's how you envision the flow, the circulation of water, the currents, as a conveyor belt from South Florida all the way, even further than that, all the way up to England, had stopped, and that's what caused this massive overnight sudden freeze. Well, guess what? Scientists have discovered that last month the conveyor belt started up. And now they're thinking they have to re-examine 25 years of models in science because the conveyor belt has started again. And the reason they're surprised by this is because, London has had unseasonably cold weather because the conveyor belt had stopped, but now it's kicked up again. And nobody did anything to jumpstart it. So now I think, well, maybe this conveyor belt's cyclical. That, like every other scientist in this field of global warming, it's a hoax. They study it within the confines of their own lifetimes. And they try to draw, from the beginning of time, historical data within the context of an average human life, which is impossible. But they have a political agenda behind global warming, and it is more government, more spending, less freedom, higher taxes, so forth and so on. So global warming is a hoax, yet here comes Rex Tillerson endorsing a carbon tax. The Earth, as I have just explained, is cooling. It has been cooling since 1997. It has not warmed.
The BBC, they put this story up. It went up early Friday morning, immediately got the attention of a British climate activist named Joe. Like any good activist, Joe got right to work. 10:12 a.m., she fired off an email to the BBC reporter, Roger. Here it is. Subject, correction demanded. Dear Roger, please can you correct your piece published today entitled Global Temperatures to Decrease? You should not mislead people into thinking that the sum total of the Earth system is going to be cooler in 2008 than 2007. Thanks for your attention to the matter, and thanks for paying attention to all the facts and figures available. Joe, the Earth system is still warming. Thank goodness, because that's definitely what people mean when they talk about global climate change. Glad you cleared that up for us there, Joe. About 10 minutes later, Roger, the reporter, replied. He wrote this. Dear Joe, no correction is needed. If the Secretary General of the WMO, that's the World Meteorological Organization, tells me that global temperatures will decrease, you know what? That's what we'll report. There are scientists who question whether warming will continue as projected by the IPCC. Best wishes, RH. In other words, beat it, chick. But activist chicks like Joe don't really give up on saving the planet that easily. She writes back, Hi, Roger. Personally, I think it's highly irresponsible to play into the hands of skeptics. Spelled two ways for some reason, I guess maybe in case there's any spelling skeptics out there, who continually promote the idea that global warming finished in 1998, when that's so patently not true. As time goes by, catch this line, the infant science of climatology improves. So please do not do a disservice to your readership by leaving the door open to doubt about that. Joe, who's trying to silence who? Don't leave the door open to any doubt. And the other favorite line is, the infant science of climatology. The infant science of climatology. Wow, you know what? If my infant said that the house was going to catch fire because the oven was getting warmer and it would continue to get warmer, would you listen to them? Or maybe wait until they gain a little bit more knowledge and experience and learn how the oven works? I'm just saying. How about we don't use infant science to make multi-trillion-dollar bets on things we don't really understand because just an idea. Raj responds 20 minutes later with this. The article makes all of these points quite clear. We can ignore the fact that skeptics, spelled just one way here, have jumped on the lack of increase since 1998, and it is appearing regularly now in general media. Best to tackle it and explain it, which is what we've done, or people will feel the debate is being censored, which makes them very suspicious. Roger. You know what? I got to tell you, aside from the fact that Roger, the writer, apparently hates using any kind of punctuation whatsoever, I kind of like this guy. I mean, he's holding strong here. Then, Joe, as always.